Hello, my name's Lindy Cowling and welcome to my channel, my YouTube channel. For those of you that aren't familiar with my work, my website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, and today's short video is called The Light Program. Now, I only speak about things on camera that I have either experienced, come to that state of awareness on, have the knowing on, have the wisdom on, the intuition on, or have worked with other people and clients across the world with. So I only speak through experience, working experience, living experience, embodiment of. I feel that's a very important part of my work because that gives you the vibration of authenticity, that experience of it resonates with people. They know that you understand what they're going through, but they also can feel where you're coming from, and even if they don't agree with what you're saying, they know that you are passionate about it and you are coming from a place of love on it, really, compassion on it, even if they don't agree with what you're saying. So I feel that that's very important at this stage that we're in, humanity as a whole, and very important for me to put it across in that way so that people have the capacity to receive it in that way. It wasn't until about 6 to 8 months ago that I became very much aware as a state of my own spiritual evolution, and the whole planet is going through a stage and a state of spiritual evolution. What we called ascension would be one word for it. Ascension, to remind those that haven't watched before, as descension, from the brain running the show to the heart opening up and running your whole experience of life, really. It's who you truly are. You know, it gives you a new view, a faster vibration, a 360-degree view instead of a 90-degree view. It's a whole way of existence. It's your true being. It's who you truly are. Having been in this, what we call the light worker community, for those of you that don't know what that is, that's a community of holistic therapists, healers, mediums, clairvoyants, all sorts of alternative therapies, coming from what I call not a religious but a spiritual background. Had a very famous Nan, Rose Gladden. She was very famous in the 70s and 80s, Spiritualist of the Year, first healer in the world to be wired up at UCLA and Stanford in America with the mind mirror, which could prove that a healer's brainwaves went into resonance with the clients and actually got the clients to come into resonance with them to enable healing to take place. She was on TV all over the world, radio all over the world, and she was one of the first healers in the world to have actually be tested in a lab. She could alter the composition of liquid, including water, within sealed test tubes, this kind of thing. Come from that background. Also a mother that's a medium healer, very good healer. So it was in the bloodline, so to speak. It was in the ancestry. And in later life, much later in life actually, I finally fell originally into the spiritual light worker community as a therapist, but quickly opened up as a medium clairvoyant, and then later still came into a spiritual connection, a twin flame frequency, a twin flame connection, which was a profound catalyst for me to go within my heart and open up to who I truly am. So I'm explaining this background and you'll see why. I came into profound belief systems within that community. There are belief systems and programs across the planet, programming on telly, radio, the way you're brought up, society, what you hear, what you're told, what you're templated with in the energy field. And there were profound beliefs, and still are profound, very powerful beliefs within the spiritual and light worker community. I'd align that to as powerful as there is in religion, really. Very, very strong belief systems. I wasn't aware of that, because you're not aware of them when you're in it, but I am aware of it now. As part of my tuning in as a medium clairvoyant and as a healer, because I'm a healer as well as a qualified hypnotherapist, you tune into light. People have different ways of doing this. You know, they might light candles, they might gaze at a fire, they might go sit in a cave, they might sit on a hilltop, they might go to a meditation. People have a myriad of ways of linking in. But it wasn't until the last 6 to 8 months, until I got to a stage of evolution, and I brought out an earlier video on this called Eggs, Infinite Consciousness, that kind of skirts around this and explains it a bit, that as you spiritually evolve, you will get to a stage where you realize that much of your reality is actually programs. They're programs. So I was tapping into light, and as a medium clairvoyant, you know, it's like tuning to different radio stations. I tuned to one radio station to talk to people that have passed over and get evidence of life beyond death. I tune slightly differently to do my clairvoyance and clairaudience, only slightly differently. Something else again, you know, to read the soul and to read the spirit of soul connections and things slightly differently again. It's like tuning, tweaking really. You don't change drastically, you don't drop frequency, but it's kind of like tuning to different radio stations. I didn't even realize there was such a thing as a light program, and if I had not got to a state of awareness, a state of consciousness that I'm now at, I wouldn't have realized it. I still wouldn't realize it. But I've come to realize that I would say millions, not thousands, millions of people across this planet are tuning into what they feel is, thought was the divine, and thought was, because it was light and it looked light, therefore it must be good and light and everything and the pinnacle, and actually it's just a light program. Now let me get this straight, there's nothing wrong with it, I'm not being derogatory about that, about it being just a light program. I truly feel that that's the stage we go through, that there are a series of programs, and while we're in a certain state of consciousness, the light program serves a purpose. But then when we sort of come out, the egg hatches and we come out of that state of consciousness, the light program doesn't have a purpose anymore, because then you've gone to a vibration and an awareness, a state of consciousness where you don't even use the light program anymore. It's who you truly are, and it's a consciousness of, I'm going to say it again, completion, peace, love, compassion. It isn't tapping into light, and I know from, oh goodness, first-hand experience of this, really as first-hand as you could get, up close and personal, of people I know, and I can think of one person in particular, where he was bypassing his heart, was not capable of accessing his heart at all, or going anywhere near love, but would bypass it by tapping into the light and kind of convincing himself that the light was everything, and he could have all the power and the manipulation and everything else he wanted by just keep tapping into the light and encouraging others to tap into the light, when what actually he was doing was bypassing his own divinity, bypassing his own heart, and actually encouraging many other people to do the same. Not saying that was intentionally, perhaps on some, in his state of awareness he didn't even aware that was what he was doing, and perhaps even still is doing. But that's just one example. And so the reason I'm bringing this out is because I think this is actually, this is a very, very important can of worms to open. I wouldn't say it was whistleblowing. I mean, belief systems are coming down around our ears at the moment. People are finding that very challenging. If you challenge what someone really believes, they get very, very angry, or they go on the attack, or because it makes them question their whole reality. I mean, it's meant to, but then because they've defined who they are by their reality or their belief of reality, it throws up some painful that for them. That makes them question everything within them, who they are, what they are. And if they're ready to go there, that can be life-changing. I mean, that's like a catalyst effect. But if they're not ready to go there, they get very, very angry, very bitter. They go on the attack, or they bolt, they cut off. And some just go like that. No, 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 no. I mean, like a child throwing a tantrum. They don't want to hear it because they're not ready to hear it. And so you must just let people, if people are ready to embrace who they truly are, they are, and if they're not, they're not. There's nothing you can do about that. But I really feel this is pivotal, actually, very, very important, and I feel that this has got the potential to, not this video, but this, I'm sure I won't be the only one saying this, that this awareness, because it's a state of awareness, it's not something that Lindy Cowling has suddenly discovered. It's a state of awareness. It's out there for everybody, and it's just that I've stepped into that state of awareness now. I've expanded into it. So thousands of others across this planet must be having this state of awareness as well. It won't be, it's not just me. So I'm sure we'll hear about this more. And it's just another example of our whole idea of reality changing. As we hatch out of these eggshells, as we hatch out of our very limited programmed consciousness into this expansive consciousness, it's probably one of the most empowering, if not the most empowering thing ever, really, because that light program, I think it serves a purpose to a certain degree, but then it's very limited because people can't seem to get beyond that. The only way you can bypass anything, the only way you can really bypass any bullshit, any manipulation, any negativity, and the real pure divinity of who you are, the truth, is to live by, access from, listen to your own heart. It's the heart every time. I can't even say listen to your sixth sense. I've got sixth sense. I'm psychic. That's nothing to do with my heart. I can tap in psychically, and that would have been nothing to do with my heart. I mean, actually, I laugh now because now actually I can't, because I've got to a stage where now everything runs through my heart, not just selective bits. There's no separation now. It's all running through Lindy's heart. But I'm using that as an example again. I'll give you another example. Medium clairvoyance. You can have medium clairvoyance that are very good medium clairvoyance, but they don't run through their heart at all, from their heart at all. That is not a criticism. That's their own personal state of spiritual evolution. Others completely function from their heart. On this planet, everybody's highest state, everybody's pure access to higher self, everybody's purity, everybody's love, everybody's enlightenment, every single word that you can think of that represents peace, compassion, love, awareness, enlightenment, all is the heart, all of it, every time. And so what I'm going to say to you is, be discerning. Really, really listen to your heart. I've said this now for quite a long time, on camera, on radio interviews, like I say, across the world for quite some years now. I've been on radio. The simpler it is, really, the purer it is, the more likely it is to be coming from here, who you truly are. The fail-safe system you have here is anything coming from your heart cannot be tampered with. It can't. And that is why there has been, up until recently, a vested interest in keeping humanity out of here. Because once humanity is in here, it sees everything. You see everything. You have the awareness of everything. It's not a limited reality then. You see everything. You know who you truly are. You see from outside of the programming then. And the light program is a whopping great one. I can't comment on religion. I'm not templated with a religious background or religious beliefs. I can't comment on that. All I can comment on is the light worker community that I've been in now for over 15 years. And that I know is heavily templated with certain things, like every element of humanity is. It all is. This isn't a criticism. This is awareness. This is to help people to become self-aware. Because the more of us that become aware, the more we, again, effectively act as catalysts for all those around us and help them to come into a state, everyone around us to come into a state of consciousness where they are able to see a more harmonious and experience a more harmonious and radiant state of reality. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Walking it back, walking it back, walking it back to love. Sounds like a cue for a song. And on that note, again, I will love you and leave you. Take care, and I shall be back on camera shortly. Thank you. Bye-bye.